it could turn criminal really fast. They're just using a civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people are not paying attention to that.
Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of this tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
The situation with Shannon Sharpe has become very serious. It's no longer just rumors. Mase has gotten involved and says it's much deeper than people think. He even said Shannon might go to jail.
It's gonna be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Mase says the civil case is just the beginning. He believes they're trying to take all of Shannon's money so that when the real trouble starts, the criminal case, he won't have enough left to hire good lawyers. And honestly, Mase might not be wrong. More people are now coming forward with new claims against Shannon, and each one is worse than the last. This isn't just bad. It could ruin everything Shannon has worked for.
Oh, this is what I'm getting at. And for him to offer 10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no 10 million if I know I didn't do anything. And I think the only reason the 10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about this. I think the 10 million didn't work because the pimp need his cut. You know, just allegedly. I'm not saying there is a pimp, right? Let me give you. It's just an idea. This is just an idea, right? So if there's a pimp, right? Why y'all keep laughing at?
ESPN might drop him. His podcast could be over, and there may be no more bold opinions on TV. As for the fans who called him UNC, that image might already be broken. But the big question is Shannon being targeted, or is there a lot more to the story than we know? Where are all these new so-called victims suddenly coming from? Something doesn't add up. Everyone's sharing their opinions. Some people are defending him, while others have already turned against him. But Mase says this lawsuit is just a distraction. According to him, the real action is happening behind the scenes, and it's about to get ugly.
Right there. For real? Yeah, that for a lot of money. You know how guys be, and they pushed her on her, and then she said 10. And he was like, 10 is my 10. You gotta put in your number for yourself. That don't have nothing to do with mine. 10 is mine. That's what we discussed.
The real danger for Shannon Sharpe might not be the lawsuit. It could be a criminal case that's quietly building behind the scenes. When Mase appeared on the It Is What It Is podcast with Cameron, he didn't hold back. Right off the bat, he asked one question that made everyone go silent. Why didn't anyone stop Shannon from offering $10 million to his accuser? Seriously, what was he thinking? Offering money in a serious accusation doesn't make you look innocent. It makes you look guilty. Mase called it out clearly, and he's not the only one questioning that move. But then Mase dropped something even wilder. At first, it sounded like a joke, but when you really think about it, it's kind of scary. He pointed out that the accuser turned down the $10 million and still went to court. Like, who says no to that kind of money? Unless there's something bigger going on.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see you.
I don't.
You know what?
No, I don't want to be true.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice.
The woman called Jane Doe in the case was later identified online as Gabby Zuniga, a 21-year-old model who goes by Gabby. She says she met Shannon at a gym in Los Angeles when she was 19 and he was about 54. They didn't just meet once. They started a serious relationship. But Gabby says it wasn't a happy one. From the beginning, she says Shannon was very controlling. He wanted her to be available to him all the time, and if she wasn't, He constantly checked up on her. Things got worse after a big scandal last year when Shannon accidentally went live on Instagram during an intimate moment with another woman. Gabby says she was deeply embarrassed and tried to leave the relationship, but Shannon convinced her to let him come over to talk things out. She says that once he was inside, the situation turned violent. He forced himself on her even though she was crying and asking him to stop. It didn't stop there. In January 2025, Gabby says he came back, pretending he had gifts for her. But once again, things turned dark. She says he forced himself on her again and refused to use protection, even though she asked him to. She also says he did something else very serious without her permission.
We pray all of this is like a fallacy or some kind of hoax or something like this, because he was about to get a bunch of money. And you know, when you're about to get a bunch of money, people that hate on you just wait until you're about to get that money and rain on your parade. But we can't say that. And that's why I wanted to say it, to get Stats' opinion. I knew when I said that she was going to go, yeah. No, you can't be on your way to 100 million. I keep telling Killer, right? And niggas picking these kind of girls. You can't do that. We talked about this with Ant-Man. We talked about this with several players. You just can't do that. You about to get 100 million. You can't throw it away for IG model. Is she an IG model?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. How does that work?
She got her separate account and she do her thing on there. And people.
Right after that disturbing incident, Gabby reportedly sent Shannon a heartbreaking message. In it, she said she cried after he left, reminded him that she had begged him to use protection, and asked him to respect her boundaries. But he ignored her. She was direct in her message, saying no means no, and told him their past didn't matter anymore because what happened that night had crossed the line. But things got even more complicated after the lawsuit went public. Shannon's legal team hit back by leaking some of Gabby's old text messages, and they were intense. One message from October 7th, 2023 was very explicit, with Gabby saying she wanted Shannon to dominate her, which shocked many people. Another message, sent just days before the second alleged incident in January 2025, mentioned that she wanted $25,000 every time he cheated. More messages came out that painted a different picture. In them, Gabby used very sexual language called Shannon Daddy and said she wanted him to give her a child, writing things like, "You better want it, because once you get it, you're stuck with it for life." Shannon's team thought leaking those messages would help his case, but it totally backfired. Instead of making Gabby look bad, the internet turned on Shannon, seeing him as even more toxic and controlling. Then things got worse for him. Gabby's lawyer, Tony Busby, responded by releasing shocking audio clips. In one, Shannon could be heard threatening to choke Gabby and saying she had no choice. People were stunned. In another recording, he sounded ready to get physical with her, with no hesitation. But here's where it got even messier. Rumors started to spread that the recordings were edited to make Shannon look worse than he really was.
We also got to start paying attention, fellas, when they're telling you it's a civil suit. Don't feel like that's just a civil suit. If it's civil suit, but it's something criminal, it could turn criminal really fast. They're just using a civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people are not paying attention to that. Another way that people are just green to the streets, you know, that's just one entity trying to walk away some of your money, so that when they double back and say, well, this was you did this over here, because 9 times out of 10, if one girl say something, then somebody else gonna come say something, because they're like, people are getting paid, and people are getting paid for nothing. And I really got some issues, or they may really have a text or really have a message, and it's like, I don't know what to do or what to tell fellas now.
Some people believe this whole situation between Shannon and Gabby is bigger than just their messy relationship. That's why Mase keeps bringing up the $10 million offer. He's asking, if this was just about money, why didn't Gabby take it? After all, $10 million is a big amount, but not shocking given what's at stake. In civil cases like this, it's easy for people to accuse women like Gabby, a young model, of just trying to get rich by accusing a famous man. But Mase shared a deeper theory. He suggested Gabby may have turned down the money because other people behind the scenes were influencing her, hoping to get a piece of that payout. Mase pointed out that all this drama started just as Shannon was about to close a huge $100 million podcast deal. He said in a joking way, but the internet ran with it. Comment sections blew up with people asking, was Shannon Sharpe being set up? And Mase didn't stop there. He said Shannon fell into a trap that has taken down many powerful men. Once one accusation comes out, more often follow, like dominoes falling. According to Mase, this first lawsuit is just the beginning. It gets Shannon distracted and spending tons of money on lawyers. Then the real storm begins. Here's the wild part. Mase hinted that Shannon might be headed down the same path as Diddy. First a civil case, then more civil cases, and eventually federal charges. To be clear, no one is saying these men were forced to do anything, or that we should feel sorry for them. But if the rumors are true, Shannon's world could be crashing down very soon. These aren't just whispers online anymore. People are talking about it everywhere. The Gabby situation alone was already major, but now Shannon's got even bigger problems. Why? Because all the skeletons in his closet are starting to come out fast. And once the internet smells blood, it doesn't let go. Online sleuths started digging through Shannon's past as soon as the lawsuit went viral. And they found a lot. One of the biggest bombshells? There are claims that Shannon once grabbed a woman by the neck while working on Undisputed at FS1. She was a production assistant behind the scenes. According to insiders, FS1 and Shannon paid her a few $100,000 to settle the issue quietly. There was no lawsuit, but now the details are leaking. And here's what's suspicious. If you try to search for that old choking incident now, there's barely any trace of it online. It's like it disappeared. But nothing stays buried forever, especially not when the internet and the streets start talking.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
As soon as that old FS1 story started gaining traction online, Shannon Sharpe's legal team jumped into full damage control. They quickly put out a statement denying there was ever a choking incident on set. Instead, they called it light physical interaction in a playful setting with co-workers. But let's be honest, what does that even mean? That's not the kind of phrase you use when you're trying to clear your name. And if it was just harmless fun, why was there a private settlement at all? But that wasn't the only skeleton from Shannon's past coming back to haunt him. Another old case just resurfaced, this time involving his ex, Michelle Evans. In 2023, Michelle sued Shannon for defamation after already getting a restraining order against him. According to her, they were in a relationship for nearly 10 years. But everything fell apart in 2010 after she confronted him about cheating. That's when she says things turned violent. Michelle accuses Shannon of forcing her into a sexual act without her consent. She says he told her something chilling during the assault. He said he would make sure no other man would ever want her. Now here's the disturbing part. That's exactly what Gabby claims he told her years later. In Gabby's lawsuit, she says that after trying to end their relationship in October 2024, Shannon showed up uninvited to her apartment. She says he forced her to perform a sexual act, telling her, "You've disrespected me too much. I'm going to punish you." Then she claims he assaulted her from behind while she was crying and trying to stop him. He reportedly said, "Look at my arm, I got chills. That's how good this is." Gabby says she sobbed the entire time. Back to Michelle. After the alleged assault, she says Shannon became even more threatening. He started stalking her, calling constantly, and reminding her that he was watching. She was so afraid, she filed for a restraining order just to feel safe. When that case resurfaced recently, Shannon's legal team fired back. They accused Michelle of trying to cash in on the current controversy, calling her part of the so-called Shannon hate train. They claimed her story was exaggerated and old news, saying it had no merit and was a total misrepresentation of what happened. As for Gabby's lawsuit, Shannon flat out denied everything, calling it nothing more than a shakedown. But here's the thing, people aren't letting this one slide. The internet is still buzzing, and it looks like Shannon started to realize just how deep this rabbit hole goes. With multiple women stepping forward and old accusations coming back, the pressure is building fast. This is no longer just about protecting his image. It's about whether Shannon Sharpe is headed to court or to jail. So what do you think? Is Shannon finally about to face real consequences? Or will this all fade away like so many celebrity scandals before it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if you're following the drama, subscribe so you don't miss what's next, and share this with someone who needs to see the truth behind the headlines. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.